you've been very good in the past at adapting recipes that are family favorites and making them plant-based and making them healthy. And I think you just recently did an interview with, I believe it was the Exam Room, creating Thanksgiving that everybody likes no matter how they eat. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you create those recipes?
I mean, originally when I went whole food plant-based, I was doing it SOS free. I was avoiding all these things, but like I love food. I mean, I joke around that like I didn't get like morbidly obese at 24, 25, not loving food. And I also wanted to make things that my husband was going to enjoy. And so I just, there were things that I thought about, like, family recipes that I didn't want to lose the memories, especially with my mom passing. And there are things that I make that are very important to me. And I found that there's ways to do it healthy. We literally can take pretty much any recipe and swap out ingredients and still have it be those things that we love, those flavors that we love. And we do it all the time, especially around the holidays. We specifically have this chocolate cake that was like made for everyone's birthday, every Christmas. It was beloved. I make it for my husband every year on his birthday, and I found a way. And I swear that recipe, it had buttermilk, it had eggs, it had sugar, it had I think it had regular butter in it too. If there's a way to transform something, and I figured it out, it literally, I feel like it tastes better than the original. And so, now the sky's the limit with what, you can make. So that's kind of my
Cake
niche.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of my niche. It's on our YouTube channel. It's called the chocolate cream cheesecake. If you go to the Jaroudi family, we make it in a loaf pan, or you can make it in a bundt pan. And it's my favorite thing. I presented it at the National Health Association conference this year in June. I made it in front of the stage for everyone, showing how you can break down any recipe. And that's the thing, is that there are substitutes, for sugar, we use dates, and we use date sugar, we use date paste. Those are the two things that we generally use, or we use a different kind of fruit sweetened. Just because you can make date paste, you also can make raisin paste, you can make fig paste, you can make apricot paste. You literally can take any dried fruit and make the same way you would make date paste. So we do that, or applesauce. For oil, we generally will just leave it out or use applesauce in a recipe if it's a baked good recipe. If it's sauteing, we use vegetable broth. And then for salt, we use miso. And I follow Dr. Greger's recommendations that, miso is protective. The soy has benefits that are protective and not damaging. And I've noticed in my own blood pressure that it hasn't, made it go up or anything like that. So I'm really cognitive of high blood pressure, because that is something I was once on 2 medications for. And from using, you don't need a lot. It's very little in any recipe, because you don't want the miso-y taste. You think of miso soup, that's not really what we're trying to achieve. Just a little bit of that flavor, that curve of that saltiness. And I haven't noticed it affect, my blood pressure has been exactly the same. So that's been really great to see kind of the science show up with the real life testing of it. So those are kind of the 3: salt, oil, and sugar that I follow. And I mean, there's just so many great things. Like, instead of eggs, you can make a flax egg. Instead of buttermilk, we take apple cider vinegar or lemon juice mixed with a plant milk, and you just let it sit for a couple minutes, and it curdles just like buttermilk, and then you can use it. So many different ideas. And I found that being whole food plant-based made me so creative in the kitchen. It literally is like a puzzle for me. I feel like that's why I love making recipes, because I'm literally like, okay, we have, barbecue chicken, and how am I going to make barbecue chicken replacement that's whole food plant-based? And then I think about, what can replace chicken? I think of soy curls, and I think of, jackfruit, and I think of even different beans and different things like that. And of course, how do you break down, barbecue sauce, and what are you getting rid of and adding in? So for me, it's really just, it's so fun. I mean, I could talk about recipes and food all day with you. And then also, like, when you nail a family recipe that the whole house has loved before, it's so exciting. And then you see how much fiber and how much better you feel. For me, always around the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter, now it's not like, I don't feel so heavy when I eat
Right.
those meals. I'm not like, oh, we need to go take a nap after. My family is kind of notorious for eating and then like zonking out on couches. So it's nice to feel good, feel like you can move, that the next day you don't feel as bad as well.
Right.